Hello and welcome to a view from the South Stand. We're now streaming on the Hotspur Hood, first week on. So hello everybody, and thanks to Tommy for allowing us to do this. It's just finished Spurs 5, Newcastle 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Let's get into some live reactions. So my first guest this week is Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
Hey mate, I'm good. You?
I'm good. So it's finished 5-1 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. Let's get straight into it. The starting lineup, when you saw it today and you saw, the two changes was the main change of Doherty going on the left and Royal playing on the right.
Yeah.
What was your first instinct?
Well, at first I thought we'd be predictable down that side. I think Doherty being right-footed on the left side, I thought it's going to be predictable. He's going to run up, cut back, crossing on his right. So that was my initial thought. I did although Davis has played well at centre half, I think I wanted to see potentially Davis go out to wing back. Although I don't really think he's an amazing fullback.
Yeah.
He's still an engine. He still can get up and down the pitch. And then see either someone like Sanchez or even Joe Rodon, I think, come in at centre half. But as the game went on, it turned out that the decision that Conte made, putting Doherty out on the left, Emerson on the right, it worked because both of them scored. So it worked in the end. So yeah, I was more relieved to see it work than anything else.
What did you make of the first half? What did you make of our start? First minute or so, Newcastle came, were attacking a little bit, but then the game seemed to just step into our favour and we had more of the ball. And we just couldn't break them down. Would you expected Newcastle to be very rigid, compact in that for the rest of the game, or did you kind of expect that performance from Newcastle in the first half?
I expected it. I think they clearly played for a point, but then they also Eddie Howe actually set up to counteract our counter attack. He completely packed out the centre of the pitch, which I suppose is how most teams will play against us. Especially teams that are fighting relegation, they're looking to come away to a top 6 team, probably just get a point. So I wasn't surprised that they had everyone behind the ball at some points. They started quite well. Their first couple of minutes, I was like, oh god, it's just a sign of things to come. But then they sort of dropped off, and it took us a little while to get into the flow of things. But I think once we started finding those little gaps in their play and in their midfield, I think we just took advantage, and we could have had 6, 7, 8 today quite easy. I mean, Son missed a we once we found the gaps in midfield, I think we just exposed them and made them pay. So yeah.
And what did you make of the first goal? Would you put down to a complete Lloris mistake, or was it kind of goalkeeper error? You saw it the last minute. There was nothing he could really do.
I think that one's 6 1 half dozen of another, because when I saw it in live play, I thought, how has he not saved that? It's on his side. He stood there. He should be saving that. Then when I saw it was the camera angle as if you were behind the player that was taking it, you could see that Newcastle would put 2 players there, almost in his way. But then just as the player taking the free kick stepped up to it, then players come apart, which opened the space for him to put his free kick. And I think, you're right. I think he saw it late, but I still think it was on his side. It was on his side, and he should. I think he's got a hand to it. I still just think he should have saved it. A keeper of his quality should really be saving a free kick like that, especially that kind of height as well. It's not like it was, over the wall and he had to go across, or I think it was a good height, but I do think he did see it later than what he would have liked. But yeah.
And then obviously after they scored, we went straight up the other end and pretty much scored straight away. Do you think actually their goal helped us do things a little bit more quicker in the final third?
I think so. I think it's been the story of quite a lot recently, even before Conte. It's kind of taken us to go a goal down to really get us going and really give us a kick up the backside to start playing and realise, we've actually got to win this game. Because Conte said every game now till the end of the season is a cup final. And it is really,
Hope not.
what's on the line.
Maybe a quarterfinal.
That's the situation we're in now. So every
Yeah.
game is so important, and I think it was really important that we got that goal when we did, because I think if we'd have gone in 1-0 down, Newcastle would have had time to talk in the changing room, and they would have just said, sit behind the ball and catch them on the counter, similar to what we do to other teams. But I think getting that goal didn't allow them to have that kind of conversation in the dressing room, and they kind of had to come out in the same way that they did the first half, which I think played into our hands and allowed us, like I said, to expose them like we did.
Obviously, let's talk about the second half and how good we were going forward. Harry Kane, let's talk about him, because actually he was probably a bit anomalous in the first half. he wasn't around, like he wasn't on the ball as much as he was in the second half. Do you think actually he's, in the second half where he finally started to get on the ball in midfield, where did Newcastle switch off, or was Harry Kane very clever?
No, I think he's clever. I think he literally, they say that midfielders, dictate play, and like you got some of the best midfielders. What do you think of, like, I'm not comparing Kane to these players, by the way. I'm just using them as an example. Players like Pirlo and Xavi, they dictated a midfield and they dictated play. And I think Harry Kane, he dropped off a little bit into that number 10 role, which he can play just as well sometimes as the number 9 at the front. And he just dictated how we played from then on in. As soon as he dropped back, it's almost like, it's like it shocked Newcastle. Like it shocked them, and they were like, shit, Harry Kane's dropped back now. How do we deal with that? And how do we deal? And that's what I say. It almost exposed space between their midfield and their defence, which is why we had so much space for some of our goals. And I think it wasn't Newcastle switching off. I think it is just Harry Kane. And I've said before, I said it after the City game, the geezer's range of passing is it's outrageous. For a centre forward, to be able to do what he does from distance, 9 times out of 10, his ball that he plays goes exactly where it should go. And there isn't any other striker in world football that can do that. Drop back into a number 10 and play the sort of balls that he did. And I think he changed and dictated our play today, 100%.
And our wing backs today, as we said at the beginning, were the 2 changes, Doherty playing on the left, Royal playing on the right. And, honestly, we all thought actually St. Maximin against Royal was going to cause him a headache today. But how do you think both coped in different positions today? Well, Royal obviously coming back in and Doherty playing left wing back.
I think they did well. I think Doherty, he's I'll give him credit. He's significantly improved. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. Conte's just giving him this confidence that he has been well. He has done well for sort of the last month or so. Obviously Emerson Royal, I was nervous. The guy's not the greatest defender. He's okay in transitional play, but then he gets to the final third and can't cross. So I was a bit nervous that Saint Maximin, whatever his name is, he is a dangerous player. He is the sort of player, if I was a defender, I would absolutely hate to play against. Changes direction so quickly. And I think, given the sort of player he is, I think Emerson Royal, he was mainly on Emerson Royal's side, I think Emerson Royal did quite well against him. He didn't really cause us too many problems. But I also think Romero did a good job on him today as well.
Yeah.
Romero did a good job, like similar job to what he did to Antonio against West Ham. He bullied him, showed him early doors, I'm in charge here, and you ain't getting past me. And he didn't, to be fair. So I was quite happy with how we handled St. Maximin, because he was really their danger player I was worried about.
And let's talk about Bentancur and Kulu for a minute. Seeing, they were the 2 last-minute deals, Paratici went back with a begging bowl. But what a massive difference they've made to this Spurs team.
Massive.
What did you make of both of their impacts today?
As good as they've been since they arrived. I think I've said it before, that it's very rare that you get players come from overseas and settle in so quickly, especially to the Premier League. It's very rare. It doesn't happen often. And to have 2 players adjust so quickly. I mean, I know they were together at Juventus. That probably helped.
Yeah.
But to have 2 players adjust so quickly to the Premier League, especially coming from Serie A, because Serie A is quite a slow-paced league. To come from there to the Premier League is no easy task. And Bentancur just brings composure to the midfield. The guy is so good. I've said it before, at creating space around himself to give him that extra couple of seconds to think about where he's going to put a ball. He's so good at it. And Kulusevski, I've picked him up since the first game he played for us. He is a perfect winger. He is what we've been missing for so many years. He's strong. He's good on the ball. He put a ball across the box. I said that he's not used his right foot a lot. Well, he put the ball across the box for Sonny with his right foot. So, he is what we've been missing for so long, and so is Bentancur. The pair of them. Like we've said, we needed a centre midfielder. We've got one. We needed a winger. We've got one. And them two going for. We need to build a team now around Kane and Son, them two, and Romero. Build the team around them kind of players.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be a considerable threat next season. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but I think we're going to be, more of a threat than we've been this season at times.
Did you think with Kulu now, we've actually got a front three that could be quite fearful next season?
Yeah, 100%. I reckon a lot of teams are going to be quite worried about that, especially if we manage to, keep Kane, which I'm sure we will. Kane and Son's enough fear as it is, but teams will watch our front three and think, right, we need to actually do a job here, because the system that Conte plays, we all know he stretches the game, which allows them three to sort of go in pockets of space. So I think a lot of teams are going to be worried about them three next season.
Would you turn Kulu's loan deal in the summer into a permanent transfer, or would you wait until the 18 months are up?
Permanent straight away. Same as Romero. Get them both now. Do it, because we've needed a centre half. I still think we need another one, but we've needed one like Romero for a long time to replace Toby and Jan when they went. So we've got one of the two. And like I said, we've got Kulusevski now, who has come in and almost seamlessly just sort of slotted in. So both of them need to be permanent. I mean, I feel like they're already. I forget that they're both on loan. I feel like they're part of the squad on a permanent basis anyway. So it needs to be done.
And top four, optimistic or?
Do you know what? This damn question keeps biting me on the backside. I said we were in it, and then we lost to Wolves and Southampton. Then I said we were out of it. Then I said we were in it a bit, and then I said we were out of it, and then we lost to United. I said no, there's no chance. And now I know it's Arsenal still got to play this weekend, but now we're right back in the race. I literally don't know what to say for a week to week. I'm just going to literally say now we've got 9 cup finals. We just need to do what we need to do and win them games, and hope that because I still think Arsenal are in the driving seat. They got that game in hand. But I think it's going to come, that North London derby, if it's like it is now, by the time that North London derby comes around, that game is going to probably be the biggest North London derby with the most riding on it that I've seen in my lifetime. I can't think of one other than that to catch.
Yeah. And the last question before you go, man of the match today?
A few players could have been, but I think just because of his range of passing, I think it's Harry Kane. Romero was a close one after that because of the way he handled St. Maximin, but Harry Kane, just his second half performance, the way he just dictated everything, dropped in, perfect passes. The only thing missing from him today was a goal.
Yeah.
But Harry Kane for me.
Ryan, thank you for your time today, and as you always finish on, come on you Spurs.
Yep, the Spurs.
And on to my next guest. We've got a next guest now coming through, and his name is Matt. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hello, mate. You all right?
How you doing? You happy after that?
Oh, of course. How can you not be happy? 5-1 thumping. Love it.
So let's get into it. When you saw the starting lineup today, and you saw Royale come in, and he was going to be playing right back against St. Maximin, and
Yep.
you had Doherty on the left. What was your first initial thoughts?
Well, I knew from yesterday that Reggie wasn't going to be fit. But what I thought he would have done was move Davis out to like a left wing back and then either bring in Sanchez or Rodon. I didn't think he'd play Doherty left, Emerson right, but it's usually the same team, really, isn't it? Most of the time, seeing Emerson in there, especially up against a player like St. Maximin, was a bit worrying because St. Maximin seems to get the better of most wing backs he plays against. But I thought everyone. I've been very been very critical of Emerson when we've done these videos before. But I thought you can't doubt his performance today. Kind of kept St. Maximin quiet. In the second half, St. Maximin kind of went more through the middle when they took Chris Wood off. So it means he must have been doing his job right to keep him quiet and move position. So, yeah, I thought, yeah, it's solid enough. Solid enough.
So let's look at the first half. First 40 minutes, was you expecting it to be as difficult as it was?
Initially, no. But when you see how they were set up, which was literally 11 men behind the ball, which is what they like. Chris Wood, who was their striker, was basically was in their own half, majority of the game, first half anyway. It's very hard. I don't care how good you are. It's very hard to break down a team that stick 11 men behind the ball. But I think we just needed to find that something to click to get through the 11 men. Like we were dominating possession, but I've always found possession is a pointless stat unless you do something with it, which you can see we were trying to do something with it, but it's obviously very difficult when you've got that many men behind the ball. But I feel like the goal they scored kind of gave us a bit of a kick up the arse and thought, we better actually do something with this possession that we've got here. And 3 minutes later he does. So
on their goal, Lloris mistake or just saw it very late?
I've always said, unless it's like a 30-yard screamer where you can't really do much about it, if you get your hand on it as a goalkeeper, your hand should be strong enough. I mean, there wasn't that much power put into it. Granted, if you've seen it late, that you could understand him if he was stationary and he saw it late. But he got enough of it. Seemed obviously didn't get enough of a hand on it, but it seemed like he had a strong enough hand on it to that he should be able to keep it with his level. Probably should be able to kick that out. If you got your hand on it, at least. Do you know what I mean? For a keeper of his talent, he should have saved it.
And after that goal went in, it feels like Lloris done it on purpose because it seemed to wake us up and we seemed to be a lot more quicker. But then there pops up Ben Davies, Mr. Reliable at the moment. What are you making of Ben Davies at the moment? Comes up with the equaliser today and has been probably the most consistent player we've had in the last few weeks.
I've always said with Davies, he's very much like how Dyer was. When Dyer used to play in centre midfield, he was okay, but you always thought he was more comfortable as a centre half. And Davies, naturally a left back, I see him more comfortable as a left-sided centre half. He does it for Wales every game he plays. I've always said he's a good squad player. Is he somebody in terms when I say replace him in the summer? I mean, get somebody in who's better than him. I'm not saying we have to sell him because he's a very good squad player. He's good enough at Spurs to be a squad player that can come in every so often if we need to shake things up or injuries, whatever. He's reliable to come in. Is he going to be starting caliber for us if we get Champions League football next year or if we're looking to win the title? No, there's better options out there. But keep him 100% as a squad player. I've said it all along. And he has been consistently very, very good this season in general. He's been very good.
And second half, obviously turned the screw a little bit. Harry Kane obviously turned up in the second half and went, actually, let me take this game by the scruff of the neck. What did you make of Harry Kane in the second half?
Jamie Carragher wrapped it up quite well during the second half. It was like almost when he woke up and wanted to take the game to Newcastle, that was when the game completely changed. And that says a lot about a player of his ability, the fact that he wasn't on the score sheet today. He set one up. And obviously as a striker, because first and foremost, his job is to score goals. And as a striker, you probably will be a bit annoyed that you didn't get on the score sheet today, especially when 5 goals were scored. But a player of his ability doesn't need to score goals to have a good game. With how he plays and how he drops off and the balls he sprays, it's a joke. The geezer's an absolute joke. And I think Carragher said it as well. He said a couple of weeks ago, I think for the Leeds game, he said he's the best passer in the Premier League. And that's saying something when you've got players like De Bruyne. He said and Carragher was like, yeah, I've got a bit of stick for it. But just today's performance proves it even more. Forgetting, even if he didn't get an assist, just how he balls off and sprays balls, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And let's talk about, talking about Kane's ball for the second goal and Doherty's performance today. He obviously was playing out of position, but he has played there for Ireland. What did you make of the 2 wing-backs today, Royal and Doherty together?
Yeah, I thought they were solid. I said everyone had a good game. I mean, yeah, first half was a bit lethargic. Like as I said, we was having possession but couldn't break them down. There wasn't really any defensive errors today, but I thought Emerson and Doherty had a good game. You can't fault it. As I said, I would say the same if Doherty didn't score today, and Emerson didn't score. Oh, God, I nearly forgot he scored. I'd say the same if them two didn't score. They both had solid games today. You can't doubt it.
And the Juventus pair, as I call them, and I'm going to refer back to this, Kolu and the Bentancur at the moment.
Yeah.
What a massive difference they are making to this team right now, and especially Kulusevski, especially with Son and Kane. They were good players before, but I always felt when they played with Lucas Moura, they weren't playing at their best. But he seems to be bringing out Kane and Son again, and they're scoring goals for fun each week. What are you making of both of them two at the moment?
Well, I'll start with Kulu. I think like with him, I still feel like he would be better utilised as a 10. I just don't think I'm not criticising him. He hasn't got the pace to be a winger, but what he lacks in pace, he has in technical ability and being able to hold on to the ball. And he usually plays on the right, cuts in on his left. But yeah, what he lacks in speed, he 100% makes up for it in talent because he's a joke. He's been, I think now it's 10 games he's played. He's scored 2 goals and now after today assisted like 5. So I mean that's not bad going coming from a youngster coming from abroad.
He's done more than Lo Celso and Ndombele did in like 2 years. So
well, not difficult really. Is it?
You say lack of pace, but when you look at that Son's goal and how he just suddenly, but he brought on the burners and managed to then pick out a wonderful pass, like a perfect pass, if we're being honest, into Son's feet. Is he, playing as a front three at the moment, going into next season, would you think that would be a front three to take us forward? Or would you 100%. Think that you'd rather still play him in midfield?
No, it's a front three. It's a front three to 100% push us forward. I mean, if Kulusevski's done this like sometimes players come from abroad and they're quite slow to get used to the game. They can be. I mean, his very very first game, he looked like a deer in headlights. But since he's kind of, it's difficult coming over here because it's such a tough league, especially at a young age. He's 21 is he or something? 22. Yeah. He's still young, so especially for young players coming from abroad, it's hard for him to get going quick. But he's gone just complete tenfold. He's been unreal for us. And what I mean by like lack of pace is like lack of pace when he's like on the ball, if you know what I mean. It's different different for the assist for the goal for Son because he kind of had a couple of yards already. But what I'm saying is like with the ball, like you look at a Lucas Moura or a Bergwijn, they've got pace with the ball. Whereas Kulusevski hasn't, but as I said, what he doesn't have with that, it's weird because he hasn't got the pace when he's taking the ball forward, but he's so effective with it because it's difficult to get the ball off him. So what he lacks in pace, he like makes up for it with strength and technical ability.
And let's talk about Bergwijn finally getting more than 2 minutes today. What did you make of his impact when he came on?
Oh, but what can you say? He scored 2 minutes after coming on. I heard it on the commentary because he scored 3 and 2 over the international break for Holland. Yeah. And even on the commentary, he was like, but Bergwijn told me that he was surprised he got called up to the Dutch team because obviously he's not been playing. But you know, I've always said there's a player there, and it's just a lack of consistency, and it's hard sometimes because he's never going to kick Son or Kane out of the team, and we that other winger spot before Kulusevski come was always either like the Celso would play there, Mora would, or it'd be Bergwijn. So you're kind of battling for one space between three players there, which isn't always a bad thing, but it's hard because then when you're not playing consistently and you do get the nod one game to go and play, if you don't play great in that game, you're going to move down the pecking order even more. It's difficult. But no, there is a player there, and the impact was imminent because he come on and 2 minutes later he scored.
And let's get into the top four race. Optimistic? Think we're going to get it?
Always optimistic. I'm always optimistic. We're not completely out. Obviously, not completely out of it. Will we get it? It's difficult. I'd like to say 100% we'll get it, but I think for me, I looked at our remaining fixtures today, and the only two I can see us struggling. I say struggle, but are definite not winners. Is potentially Liverpool away because we always struggle there, and you can never really exactly if they're still in the title race, they're going to be 100% up for it. And also you can never predict the North London derby. I don't care if both teams are out of form or one team's in form, one team's out of form. You can never really predict it. And they're the only two games I look at, and I'm like, I don't know if we can win them, but I'm not like you look at the other games. I think we've got like a Burnley. I think we've got to play again. Norwich, Leicester in there. You all look at them and you all think, "God, we can get 3 points out of them 100%." But that Liverpool that Liverpool game is always a difficult one. Liverpool away and Arsenal's too hard to predict. You can't predict a North London derby. But I do feel like that North London derby game. If the rumours are true that it's the second from last game of the season. And if we're going head to head at the minute, what we're doing, like we don't really seem to be dropping points. They don't seem to be dropping points. That North London derby will be a massive, massive game, and whoever wins that will get top four for me. So I'm sitting on the fence to answer your question. I think it goes down to North London derby.
Are you writing Man United off then?
Yes, I think it's out of us and Arsenal.
Okay. And if I could get your man in the match today, who would it be? Some great performances out there, but who do you think stood out?
For me, I thought I can understand why, like some people might say Kane because he assisted one of the goals, but he was so effective with how he was playing today. But for me, I'm going to give it to Romero. I don't think the geezer put a foot wrong. He kind of kept St. Maximum in his pocket. Chris Wood's not exactly an easy geezer to mark either. He's a big lump up front. He kind of he didn't seem so erratic as what he has been. I say that he literally gave a foul away like 30 seconds in, but I mean, on the ball he just seems a lot more calmer than what he was before. He was almost very erratic when he first come, but he's today that block he done as well from Willock, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
he came out of he came out of nowhere and just blocked it.
Poor defending from Dyer there, but yeah.
Oh yeah, awful defending, but that's why you got to have half decent backup, especially if you're playing with a back three. But no, Romero for me solid. But as it could have gone to quite a few players. It easily could have gone to Kane. Thought Kulu played well. But no, Romero for me was absolute rock at centre half today. Not much, if anything, got past him.
Matt, thank you for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries.
And as we always finish on after every guest, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
And my next guest tonight is Ian. So let me bring Ian in.
Hi, Marlon. What a difference a couple of weeks can make in football, eh? We go up, we go down, back on the roller coaster.
So, yes, obviously it's finished 5-1 today in Spurs' favour. When you saw the starting lineup today, was you expecting that performance?
That's an interesting question. I think the only issue was that team is the team now. With Reguilon out, I wondered if he might try Bergwijn at left wing back. But he may have an idea how good defensively Bergwijn is. When you looked at the team, I was always confident we would win the game, apart from when we went 1 down and we weren't losing for very long. I was happy with the team selection. I think, by and large, with a couple of changes, that is the team you're going to see. That's his team. That's his formation. That's his, that's his tactics. I thought it was excellent, and Raul played really, really well.
For the first 40 minutes, Newcastle did contain us. And when they obviously scored a goal, and from it could be said Lloris's mistake, or you just saw it late.
Yeah.
Did you expect the reaction afterwards that you had and getting a goal back so early?
Yeah, it's funny. I was on. You're hosting Tommy's show. I was on Tommy's show on Friday night, and it was funny the number of guests that said Newcastle would score first, and we would go on and win the game. And I'm thinking, I need to go back, watch that show, and find out what the lottery numbers are going to be, because they actually got that to a T. Well, look, whenever you concede, every supporter's the same. Oh God, is this it? Is this where we've been given a chance? United dropped points. Arsenal got a tough game tomorrow. We've got a great chance to push on, and Spursy, we go and blow it. But we weren't behind for long. It was a poor goal, by the way, and it was Lloris's mistake. 2 hands. He's got to keep that out. Top goalkeeper's got to keep that out.
Do you think you made the mistake so it would wake up? Because I thought after the goal went in, I felt like we were a lot quicker afterwards. And we started to move the ball a lot more quicker, even in that 5 minutes of that, the first half. And, we suddenly went, actually, we've got to play now.
I think there's no doubt about that, Marlon. Absolutely no doubt that hi, Bobby, that the goal was a wake-up call. And you're right, we were absolutely a yard faster. I mean, we'll talk about the second half, no doubt, in a minute. And if you're a Newcastle fan, if you're a Newcastle coach, you're absolutely livid that you've given away a goal so easily and so quickly. After that, you don't go to Tottenham, take the lead and surrender it easily if you want to go on and win the game. But we did well. I mean, we did do well. Again, on another channel at half time, I said nobody was playing badly. We now need the big players to step up and take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I think let's talk about
that second half. Let's talk about Sir Harry. We're going to call him that for the rest of the show. He turned up in that second half. I felt like in the first half he went missing a bit. He didn't get on the ball as much as he'd like. Dan Burn kind of went, I'm sticking on you. But he seemed to just turn up in that second half and take control of that game. Yeah. What did you make of his performance in that second half?
I thought he was excellent. I did hear the end of Matt's interview, and I see Andy James' comment about Matt was a great guest. I have to tell you, I agree with pretty well every word he said. And Harry was immense second half. There was that half volley pass from midfield down the right wing to Kulusevski that was absolutely Hoddle-esque in its brilliance. There are and you're too young to have seen him play week in, week out, sitting in the stand. His ability to see and pick a pass was second to nobody I think I've seen at Tottenham in the 50 odd years I've been watching. But I thought he was absolutely immense. I have to have a look at it again. Newcastle, I thought, contributed to their own downfall. I think the disciplines that they had in the first half, they seemed to lose their way completely, and maybe having lost that goal, but they were picking up that space in the middle of the field. They were tracking Kane, and they just seemed to stop doing it. They seemed to stop tracking the runners wide. And Eddie Howe's an intelligent coach. He would know how Conte plays and how you've got to track the wing backs. And they just stopped doing the basics. And when you've got players, and that's the important thing, when defending teams stop doing the basics right, good players will punish them. And we punish them absolutely big time.
Totally agree. And I just want to look at one guy at the moment in midfield that probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and probably longer than that, was getting a little bit of criticism from the Spurs fan, and that's Højbjerg. Since Bentancur has come in, what have you made of Højbjerg's performances recently?
I think he's solid. I think that when Skip comes back, there's a lot of people talking about that Skip and Bentancur will be the two, and I think they will be. I think one of my frustrations with Højbjerg, and people criticise Winks, but Winks at least when he will try and pick a forward pass. With a small C, Højbjerg is very, very conservative with his use of the ball. And I'd like to see him be a bit more adventurous. Bentancur, when he came, I remember, he said about, my job is to win the ball and move the ball quickly into attack. And that's such a Conte style. Skip can do the same. Højbjerg, a little bit lacking, but his defensive work, his covering, his reading of the game, his commitment are absolutely outstanding. But I do think that Højbjerg will be the one to make way for Oliver Skip when he comes back. But this is what we're trying to build. We talk about building a squad. It's no good saying get rid of this one, get rid of that one. The players, most of the players there are the basis of the first team and squad. And Højbjerg, for me, will always be there and around. If he's not starting, he'll be on the bench to come in. He'll be there for rotation. Same with the others. Good performance. Everybody played well today. That was the point.
I'm looking at the Juventus pair. I'm going to keep calling them that because they've been such great signings for us. But are you surprised at the big impact they are having on this squad right now?
Massive. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Italian football. I do watch a fair bit of Scottish football, and I watch English football and occasionally Spanish football. And there just comes a point where you can't watch any more football if you want to stay in a relationship. But I mean, I heard mixed things. Some people saying, bad, that they weren't that good. Other people saying, why are we going for Juventus's cast-offs? I think the two of them have been beyond exceptional, and their ability to come in and step up to the pace of the English game. I mean, on your show before, I've said about Bentancur a couple of times. He needs to watch. He's got caught in possession of the football. Needs to just learn. He's not going to get that amount of time on the ball. I haven't seen him caught in possession now for 3 games. So he's an intelligent lad, and he's picked that up. Wins the ball, moves it quickly, tackles well. Kulusevski, not quick, as I heard Matt say. No, he's not quick. But what he makes up for is he's got heart and he's got strength. And he is another intelligent footballer. Seems to pick the right pass. So 2 stunning pieces of business.
And with Kulu now playing on that right-hand side, it seems to have upped Son and Kane's game, if I can say that, because they're both great players. But are they now a front 3 for next season that actually the top 4 team should be threatened by?
Well, we've scored 13 goals in 3 games, 5 against Everton. All right, they're not a great side, but 3 against West Ham, 5 against Newcastle. I think people should be scared of that team, that front, absolutely. I don't think we're that miles away from being a regular top 4 contender, a little bit away from challenging Liverpool and Manchester City at the moment. But Chelsea are in a little bit of free fall. I think that's a front 3 as good as most.
And looking at the 2 wing backs today and their impact on the game, let's more look at Royal, because I've looked at Doherty for the last 2 people, but I want to look at Royal. What did you make of him today?
I thought he played really well. I don't think you could fault his performance. He's another one, and this is where people talk about the Conte factor. That everybody, is there a player now that it hasn't improved under Conte? I put the question rhetorically, because everybody seems to be getting better. Even players people didn't think could play, like Doherty. Royal was another one. Oh, he's a waste of space. I mean, you never give people any time to settle into a team. But I mean, he seemed to understand today more than ever what was required of him. His defensive work was good, but he was better offensively than I've seen him. More effective, a couple of his crosses, but getting in on the end of that Kane cross for the, what was it, the third goal? I've lost. I mean, to be honest, we started to lose track. Maybe I think it was the third, but getting in on the end of that, that's Conte ball. That's where, with Doherty and with Raul, where they, came in and got their goals from. That's how Conte plays. That's why I think Reguilon's not going to make it at Tottenham, because I don't think his abilities in that final, probably even that final quarter, not even the last third, that final quarter is good enough for Conte.
And the teams does seem like they're getting better under Conte, and it does seem to be everyone's now singing off the same hymn sheet. What would be the next steps for Spurs? Let's talk about top four. Optimistic, or think Arsenal will get it, or do you think are Man United still in it?
When we lost to Manchester United, I listened to some of the other interviews you did that night, and I was the only one who didn't think top four was dead. I said it was difficult. I said it was difficult. With every game you lose, it's difficult, but you put a few results together and it's back on. Arsenal are still the favourites. I think tomorrow's going to tell us an awful lot about them. That won't be an easy game at Palace. Have they got the heart for it? They've got a terribly difficult run-in. I think they've still got to play Manchester United. I think they've still got to play Chelsea. They've got to play West Ham, and they've got to play us. So there's no gimmies in that, in that game. I think also of their. Correct me if I'm wrong with the numbers. Their 10 remaining games, 6 are away and 4 are at home. I think that's the stats. So they have a hellish run-in. I'm certainly more optimistic now about top four than I've been for a little while. I think there is every chance. Our run-in isn't that difficult, albeit there are no gimmies in this league. Everybody knows that. The Liverpool game will be difficult again, but I'm not pessimistic that we can't go there and get something with Conte's style. They will come at us, but we can counter-attack them. But the Arsenal game is looking massive. But can we get top four? Yes. Will we get top four? I think it's now 50-50. It's no longer the 10 or 20% chance we had a while ago.
Yeah. And looking now towards the summer, would you say that we need some what reinforcements would you think we should be concentrating on?
I still think we need better players at wing back. So how many keeps, I don't know, because it's a shame Sessegnon got injured, because I think Sessegnon is a Conte player, particularly because he's got a goal in him, playing higher up. I don't expect Reguilon to stay. I think Sessegnon and another at left wing back. Royal and Doherty are both played really well today. So but I still think we probably want one more good wing back. I think I've heard he's looking for another left-sided central defender. De Vrij, to me, absolutely fits what we want. He's strong. He's got 2 good feet. He moves the ball into midfield really well. I wouldn't be getting rid of Davis, and I certainly wouldn't be getting rid of Dyer. I think that's a matter of building a squad. Don't think there's a lot to do in the middle of the field. Maybe Winks can go if we can get an upgrade on Winks, because I think he needs a change for his career. We do need a backup striker for Kane. We waited too long. I'd really love us to get Tony from Brentford. I think he's a class player. Whether again he would rotate, I don't know. But I think he's exactly the kind of player we'd be looking for. And lastly, we've got to get a proper backup goalkeeper, because if we're going to do anything, we cannot afford an injury to Kane, and we cannot afford an injury to Lloris. I don't rate Galeen at all. He scares me. Positioning's poor, stops the odd good shot, but nothing about him makes me think he's remotely capable.
And the last question of the night.
Yeah.
Who was your man of the match today?
Difficult, isn't it? The TV gave it to Kane. I heard Matt before who said Romero was immense. I actually put on one of the group chats that Romero just seems to get better with every game. His reading of the game, he doesn't get bullied, he doesn't get flustered. In fact, there was times when he was up the field for a corner, he wasn't going back. He was pressing her into over the halfway line. You're going, come on, what's this? But so I'm going to share it because what Kane does in this sort of withdrawn number 10 role is absolutely fabulous. But I'm going to share it between Kane and Romero because I thought they were both immense in a really good team performance.
Ian, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
As we always finish on this channel with our guests,
come on, you Spurs.
Hello, and our last guest of the night is I'm going to bring Mark to the table. Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Hello, mate. How are you?
Happy with that performance today?
Very, really. I thought the first half, I was getting a bit annoyed because it seemed as if we were in the Newcastle half loads, and we're just really slow. And it kind of reminded me how Arsenal used to be. Do you know when they just tried to pass the ball in the net and we were trying to be a bit too, let's say, just being a bit too like cocky, thinking, we're just going to create loads of chances and stuff. But obviously we got humbled by the free kick. It really confused me, this. So the free kick, I know it hit Woods, it clipped his arm. Fair enough. I'm not saying it's handball, but he was in an offside position when the free kick was hit. So if it did take a deflection off him, why wasn't it given as offside?
I think it was more down. So looking at the VAR situation, I think if they had to give it, they didn't think it hit him at all from the sounds of it. And because that was the first question I would have asked, and I think that's the thing. But going to that free kick, should Lloris have saved it?
Yeah.
Or do you think he just saw it too late?
I thought it was a very poor tackle from Son, right on the edge of the box. It was just a bit of a lazy tackle. I kind of thought that it was straight down Lloris's throat basically. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Just let my dog out. He's doing my nut. Out, come on. Out. Hold on, mate. And with regards to the free kick, it was straight down his throat, and I thought that he should have saved it.
The goal against us kind of woke us up after that, and we kind of started to move the ball quickly. Do you think their goal basically came at the right time for us?
Kind of a wake up call. It was just one of them goals. And it kind of made us think, like, hold on, we need to score here to win the game. And I think we was just kind of like thinking they're not going to score. We're going to just create loads of chances and just maybe nick 1 or 2. But I think it made us think, like, hold on a minute, like Newcastle 1-0 up. We've got to try and do something. And to be fair, beautiful ball by Son, good header by Davis. Don't know if you're noticing this. I said this before after the Burnley game about how Romero runs forward and he's like in the box. Ben Davis done that 3 times today. Yeah,
it seems to be both centre backs seem to be doing it now.
Getting further forward and I was a bit like, I was a bit confused. We've had 3 defenders score today from open play, and it's nice to see goals coming from all around the pitch. I thought Kane deserved the goal today. I thought it was superb again. We're just running out of words for him, aren't we, really? I think that
well, let's talk about that second half, because obviously if we went off the first half, everyone would have been going, Kane's not been in it, Son's not done much, Kulu's had a few touches here and there, but Kane in that second half just turned up. And
it's difficult to say, because like you'd expect in a game like that, against a team who are worse than us. Newcastle are worse than us, although they've been good recently and they've picked up a few wins here and there. Obviously, they've had Eddie Howe go in and kind of change their dynamic. They're a bit more of a passing team now. They're not really like give it to Shelby with a long ball. They do build it up quite nicely, and I've seen it over their last few games. But I mean, you'd expect your players, your big players like Son, Kane, Kulu. I thought Bentancur was good today. Højbjerg done a job. You'd expect them to kind of like set fire to the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, them to have the shots, them to cause the drama going forward. But I thought it was very slow in the first 10, 15 minutes. I know we had a lot of the ball, but we had a lot of the ball and they had 11 men behind the ball, and we were just passing it sideways, backwards, trying to break them down. Kane had that half chance where the ball bounced up on the edge of the box and he kind of chested it and volleyed it just wide. Son had a shot at the keeper where he could have taken a touch inside the box. And I thought, is this going to be one of them days? We need to win. Are we going to like... Yeah. Do you know, against Newcastle, how we always struggled against Tim Krul, the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
I just thought, are we going to be doing this today? And I was just thrilled with the second half. I mean, I don't know what Conte said to him at half time, but you saw the camera pan on him at half time when he sat down. He was shaking, and I thought, these boys have got a rocket up them. But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, Romero, incredible. How is he a Spurs player? I'm shocked, honestly. I know Messi was fuming with the Barcelona board when he was at Barcelona, that they didn't sign him. I don't think there's a better centre back in the league right now. I know obviously Van Dijk's just come back from a long injury. Van Dijk is probably the best centre back in the world. But going on right now and what they're doing and what they're bringing to the team, there's no better centre back right now than Romero.
And speaking of the impacts of some of the signings, let's look at the two that we signed at the end of January, which a lot of us called panic buys, and Paratici was going with a begging goal back to Juventus. But are you surprised the impact both these players are now having on this squad? Considering a lot of us said that we were crap before Christmas, we were nothing, and they've changed,
I mean, I am, but I'm not at the same time. I'm obviously Kulusevski got like rated second or third in Golden Boy of the year last year or something, wasn't it? And obviously Bentancur's a tidy player. He's Italian. No, he's not Italian. He's Uruguayan. He's played in Italy. He's Uruguayan. He's played in Italy. Sorry. And Paratici knows him from Juventus, and obviously Conte, massive out in Italy. Been there with Juventus, won the league with Inter Milan. They've just come and they've clicked. I know it's hard to see sometimes players make an instant impact in January, but they both have, and they both had a positive impact for us. We're now sitting in fourth. I know obviously the game in hand situation and stuff, but we've just got to keep winning our games and just worry about everyone else and do what they've got to do. I mean, if we win our games, we've done our bit. Do you know what I mean? We can't change how others play and the results others get. And I mean, I said it back in, I can't remember when it was, after the Man City game. I said I do fancy us for the top four, but then we lost to Burnley straight after that, and I thought, don't know. It just all depends on. I know it's out of our hands technically with Arsenal, with their game in hand, but then if we beat Arsenal have still got Man United. Is it Man United,
West Ham,
Chelsea. And Chelsea. So, everyone's going to be taking points of each other, and I'm confident because we've got obviously we've got Villa away next Saturday night, which is a tough game. But
the only thing with Villa is that they're on a losing streak at the moment, and we could be playing them at the right time. Hopefully,
we could be, but I know that's also Dr. Tottenham. We always play teams when they're in their worst run, and we end up giving them the 3 points. But look, we're a better team than Villa. We've got much better players than Villa. Villa are defensively a shambles. And if Son, Kulusevski, and Kane don't beat up Tyrone Mings, then we've got no hope of finishing in the top four. I was just watching your last interview with Shaggy, if that's his name, and he said that he thinks that we should get Ivan Toney. I'm sorry, but if we want to be a Champions League team, Ivan Toney does not come near Tottenham. Ivan Toney's a good player, done it at the Championship. He's doing all right in the Premier League, but bearing in mind, like 85% of his goals are from penalties.
Yeah.
However, I watched him against Chelsea yesterday, and he's just wasteful. I know he ran loads, and he caused Rudiger a few problems physically and stuff. But look, if we're going for Champions League and we want to compete in the Champions League, Ivan Toney for me does not come near Tottenham. I'm looking at people like Dybala. Do you know what I mean? I'm not looking at all these Ivan Toneys and Danny Ings and all these lot. I'm not. We need to sign players that bring a different kind of like dynamic to the game. Ivan Toney's a good player with a long ball when he'll win a flick on and he'll be busy, but we don't play football that way. Do you know what I mean?
Before I get on to next season, top 4 race. I know we spoke about it briefly, but are you optimistic that we could get it, or are you thinking it's
I mean,
fans? And are Man United out of it? Are Man United and West Ham out of it? Man United and West Ham, are they still in it, or are they out of it?
The Man United and West Ham ain't out of it. I mean, all it takes is for us to lose next weekend. Is there a big game next weekend? I know it's City v Liverpool, but isn't it Man United v West Ham next weekend?
I'm not sure about that. We might.
No, it ain't. They've already played each other.
No, yeah, sorry, yes. It's just Liverpool.
Arsenal got Brighton at home.
Yeah.
I can't remember, to be fair, but all it is look, people are going to drop points now. 8 games left, people are going to drop points. It's just going to be one of them ones with who can drop the least points. And that's what football is. I mean, I'm positive with our front three that we can go and beat anyone, as we have. We've beat Man City, we've drew with Liverpool, do you know what I mean? But then we've just got a bit. If we win 6 out of our last 8 games, including beating Arsenal, I think we've got a chance.
And looking at next season, transfer-wise, looking at the team today and thinking, actually, now we're starting to turn it on. Do we have to be quite clever in the transfer market and get?
I think we've had to be clever in the transfer market for the last 5 years, but we haven't. The only transfer window we've been kind of clever is this one just gone. I know Emerson Royale. I know when he signed this year, everyone was a bit like, but he's just hit and miss, isn't he? He's either really bad or he's all right. He's like, obviously Kulusevski and Bentancur, big for us going forward. And I mean, Champions League is massive for us and what we do in the transfer window. I mean, the higher we finish in the league, the more money we get. And if we finish in the transfer window, we're going to have to back the squad because Kane probably will stay. But it's just one of them ones, isn't it? Who knows with Levy? Who knows with Enoch? Who knows with Conte? Do you know what I mean? Conte's capable of winning the league or doing really well for someone and just walking. Like he did with Inter Milan. He got told that they're selling Lukaku and he's got no transfer funds and he jacked. And I think Kane's future and Conte's future are linked. I think if Kane is looking to go, and I've heard from someone that they were speaking to that David Pleat, our old chairman or whoever he is, saying that Kane's definitely off. But everyone said that every season. Do you know what I mean? I just think that going forward now, I think our players should realise what they're playing for. They're not just playing for the Champions League, they're playing for our key players to stay. And for these players who have penned long contracts, who have kind of committed to our club, they've got to commit to the players around them as well. And Kane being massive. I mean, what one of these players won't want to play with Kane anymore? Do you know what I mean? Looking at his performances over the last 15, 16 games, he's been incredible. I mean, he's just one player of the month, deservedly so. And I think since Christmas, he's been the best player in the world. That's what I think. Since Christmas, he honestly has been the best player in the world. I mean, we lost at Man United from Cristiano Ronaldo doing a madness, but he never played last night and they were awful. It's just we sometimes just get in these moments where we're on a bit of a roll and then we have a little setback. But we've come against it. We've won since Man United. We've won our last 3 games: West Ham, Newcastle, and Everton. I think it was. It's looking quite good. It's just I think Man United was after everything, but beating Newcastle 5-1 today. We'll move on to next week. We can beat Villa. We just got to keep winning and hope the other teams around us drop points.
And the last question tonight: who was your man of the match today?
Romero, by far. Listen, individual.
Do you know what? Yeah. I get Kane
brilliances of the match. Kane was outrageous. Second half, Kane was outrageous, but over 90 minutes, Romero was.
And that's the question. And that's always the question. Over 90 minutes, he was. And
do you know what? A big shout out for Harry Winks when he came on. By the way, I thought it was very positive. I thought he done the right things, and that if he's going to get his chances, that's what he's got to do. I mean, he's got to come on, be positive, take touches, keep it simple, have a go from 25 yards, which we nearly went in the top corner. I thought Lucas Moura is desperate to play for Spurs. I thought he'd come on and try to do too much. I think you don't know if you saw it towards the end where he could have played it out wide to Son or through to Kane. He just tried to run around the whole team.
Yeah.
Happy for Bergwijn to come on and get a goal. I mean, he just went away with Netherlands and he got 2 great goals, and he's just come back and nice finish that. Disappointed Kane never got a goal because that would have topped off an overall very good second half, good performance. But yeah, over the course of 90 minutes, I thought Maximilian, I've always watched him and thought, oh my God, he's just going to tear people apart. Kind of similar to when like Adama Traore plays. Do you know what I mean? It's just like he will beat people. But today, Romero was just smashing him all round.
Every time he got past Royale or Raul let him go, Romero was the next break.
I just don't see how Romero's that good and that calm on the ball. And did you see that outside of the boot ball into Kulusevski in the second half?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Unreal. But listen, over 90 minutes, Romero was our best player by far. He's been our best signing since God knows. I don't know. I think he's been absolutely incredible. It's just a difference. I think next season, briefly going on to that, I do think we need to look to replace Lloris long term. I kind of think that I don't know. It's a weird one. I think that Lloris has been such a great servant for us. He's been our captain. He's been like one of them unsung heroes where he's stuck at us throughout the whole years. He's kind of stayed on when he could have moved back to France. He's had a difficult time. He's kind of like, I don't know. He's kind of like been one of them ones where I think we keep him just for the sake that we know he's going to drop a 7 out of 10 every week. But if we want to move forward and we want to be comfortable, I do think we look to replace him this summer. Don't know who by. I think maybe.
That's a very good question. Yeah.
People are saying, "Oh, Sam Johnson for West Brom and all these." I'm not taking Championship goalkeepers and throwing them straight in the deep end. I know Ramsdale done it for Arsenal, but that's a one-off because Ramsdale's a good keeper. But I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if do you know what? I'd go after that. Maybe that Wolves keeper, that Sarr. He's quite good.
Yeah, he's played in Champions League.
Emilio Martinez for Aston Villa's a good keeper.
And a good season though.
I'm not saying Lloris is bad, but how many mistakes he made this season?
He did say in his contract renewal that he did, and he's what he signed up for, that he's planning to be here to bring the next number one goalkeeper through to Spurs.
Yeah, I know he wants to help, and that's brilliant from him.
That's probably an inkling to where we're going this summer.
I think he wants a testimonial. Do you know what I mean? I think he's just hanging about for one of them. But
he can have that.
Yeah, we hopefully we raid Italy for a few players this summer. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? But we'll just see. As I say, I'm optimistic. Every Spurs game I go into it saying to my brothers, "Oh, we're going to smash these today," and they're like, "What planet are you on?" I say it to everyone, even when we play Chelsea. We always get handled by Chelsea, and I'm all like, "No, we'll beat this today." Look, Conte's just brought an aura to the club. The fans are really happy. The fans are content. The players are on board. It's just going to be a good last 8 games, and we've got the easiest running out of the 3 around us. So who knows?
Who knows? Mark, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure. And as we always finish on, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
And anyone smash that like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Hotspur Hood, and also tune in for Tommy Talks Ball later on Hotspur Hood, which is at 10 o'clock tonight. But as we finish on, Mark, how do we go? Come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs. Right, see that, mate.